Well, this Sunday will mark 1 year since President Jimmy Carter entered hospice care at home. And while the average time in hospice is 70 to 80 days, some people defy those odds. And that's in large part to the changes in hospice care over the years. A Sarasota family knows how difficult that decision can be. And after suffering the devastating loss of their 5-year-old daughter, they now say that hospice care is something they wish they would have gotten sooner.
It's very spunky, feisty, very determined, but completely compassionate.
Holly and Patrick Wright light up when they talk about their little girl, Peyton.
And I think that's what that strength that she had is what helped her really try to fight the battle that she was in.
A battle that began in May of 2006, just weeks after turning 4 years old. Peyton was diagnosed with a very rare brain cancer.
Towards the end of 2006, so around November, December, it was just getting heavy.
That's when Patrick first tried to talk to Holly about hospice.
When you hear the word hospice, that it's this very dark and just this cloud
You're
that
going
comes
to a
over
room
you,
and that's it.
and you're done.
But after a few conversations, their feelings started to change.
Once we heard the things that they could do, it just made it a little easier for us to not have to lug her back and forth to the hospital.
And it
We
changed
went
my
a lot.
perception.
Yeah.
Jonathan Fleece is the president and CEO of Empath Health. He says hospice is about so much more than death.
We refer to it as full life care for all, and the real meaning behind full life is end of life care. Hospice care is as much about living as it is about dying in the end of life.
He says hospice is not about the loss of hope, it's about experiencing life.
Whether it's some of our special programs like music therapy, pet therapy, aromatherapy, art therapy, so many things that can end up being keepsakes that families might hold on to and treasure.
Peyton's hospice care was brought to her home, where she and her family were comfortable.
The care was just absolutely
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. There was so much that they had to offer for the entire family. Like I said, they were really coming in and helping you through the most devastating situation that you could ever go through. And to have that support system, how do you measure that?
Bringing care, compassion, and sometimes even joy in a dark time.
We hear all too often, people wish they had reached out to us sooner in the journey and wish they had known more about just how impactful and just beautiful the end of life experience can be with hospice.
Something Patrick and Holly wish for all families who may be losing someone they love. Peyton passed away at her home on May 29th, 2007.
It really was such a blessing to have them come in, and I wish families knew how important they are and how much they would help.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I have to imagine such a tough decision to make. So what makes someone eligible for hospice care? And I've always wondered, what does this cost? Is this picked up by insurance or what?
Yes, so if you look into Medicare, Medicare will cover the cost of hospice, but there are a couple of things you have to be eligible for it. You need to get a hospice care doctor and your regular doctor to certify that you do have a terminal illness and that there's a life expectancy of about 6 months. But you can always reach out to hospice if you have any questions. I've included the link to Empath Hospice, Empath Health, which covers Suncoast and Tidewell Hospice, and they can answer any questions that you have if you're looking for that. Also, I do want to mention the Wrights. They are such an amazing family.
Yeah.
They started a foundation in honor of their daughter Peyton, the Peyton Wright Foundation. And what they do is they raise money to help families that are going through something like this, who have children that are suffering from brain or spinal cord cancers, because they know how difficult it would be
tragic.
when you need to try to make ends meet and you want to focus on your child. So they do a lot of good out of that.
Amazing story. Yeah, that family is incredible.